The gift of reverence, piety, like each of the gifts of the Holy Spirit, helps us to live our lives as full and complete human beings, imitating Jesus fully and completely. The Holy Spirit's gift of reverence is a gift that helps us to love and to relate to God and to God's people well. In this relationship with God, this gift enables us to enter more deeply into this relationship with God, which gives meaning to our whole life and keeps us resolute in communion with Him, even during the time when things are very difficult in our life. Now, this gift of piety fosters in us a desire to please God at all times, even if those times are difficult. In those difficult times, we're called to make sacrifices. When we were little, taught in catechism classes to offer up these sufferings to God. Now we can offer up these sufferings to God for our own sanctification, for the sanctification of those around us. We can offer those graces for the holy souls in purgatory. We can offer the graces we receive for so many things and intentions. This gift of piety helps us to deepen our relationship with God, to hold on to God no matter how difficult life can become, and to live our life in that love for others. So this gift of piety enables us to pray for those around us and for all those who have died. So the gift given to us connects us with heaven and earth in Jesus Christ. This gift of reverence is a gift that enables us to have a deeper love and appreciation for God in our midst. Some time back, I went to India, and while I was there, I happened to go to a particular place where you can buy things, little things you can buy that you wouldn't get in the big shops. And I happened to go there and to pick it up, and that whole section, all the shops were closed. And I was wondering, why is all the shops closed? Well, this section of the shops is attached to a large temple, and the shops are owned by various people. But a particular week in the year, all the shops are closed because the Hindu god in the temple comes out to be among his people. And therefore, he is now open in display. Everyone can have access to him. So I was a bit disappointed. I went all this way to pick up these things, and the shops were all closed only in that area. So while I was coming out, climbing the steps up, an auto rickshaw guy, I took to a guy, pulled up, stopped his auto rickshaw, got out of it, took off his slippers, and lay prostrate on the ground in the direction towards where the god is right inside. And I thought, wow, what reverence this man shows for his God. I thought to myself, if only we as Catholics can show this reverence to the God who loves us and the God who lives among us in the Eucharist all the time. And this reverence we're talking about, there's so much a lack of this reverence. We're living so much in a very casual society, and therefore our reverence also is very casual. When we come to church in particular, what do we do once we enter in And so often we come in and we just walk straight and we sit down. The important thing first is to acknowledge that God is present in his house. The King is present in the throne room. So when we enter into the church, firstly, an act of reverence towards God. No, a genuflection, a profound bow. It's important to do that. Sometimes we don't realize why we genuflect. You know, a little boy was asked in school, do you know why you genuflect? And the little boy said, I do know, miss, I know. And she said, why? Why do you genuflect when you go to church? He says, well, I genuflect because to show the other people which pew I'm entering into, in case the others go to some other place to sit down. So sometimes we forget why we're genuflecting. We're genuflecting because God is present, a profound act of reverence. Then we enter into our pew and we start talking to people around us as if we made all this way to come to church just to catch up with our friends. Again, the lack of reverence because we're coming into God's house, entering the throne room so we can be in conversation with the King. So we come to be present in God's house. Another lack of reverence is when we come to Holy Communion. So often we forget that we are coming to receive the King of Heaven. And we forget that it is this King that comes to us. And therefore we are such a lack of reverence. We're just too casual, we rock up, we turn around, there's no genuflecting, there's no bowing. And then we receive this King of Heaven and go, and then we leave and life goes on as usual. We've lost the sense of reverence where God is present for us to help us deepen our relationship with him, to come to love him more and to have the love in our hearts to love the people around us, to respect them. So we do come to Mass when we have the privilege once again to come to Mass. For all the times we have been less reverent, let's make up for it. Let's make up for those times. We come to acknowledge that God here in this tabernacle is waiting for us to come and present ourselves to his heart. A heart that is always beating with great love for us. This God is with us. And every time we drive past a church, we don't have to get out and like prostrate in front, but at least an act of reverence to bow our head and to make the sign of the cross. To remember that God is here with us, for us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.